If you want to really see something that's said, take a look at what happened.
What you saw in this video was an attempt assassination on Donald Trump, but as you know, he actually made it. There were no death, at least, on Trump, except for 2 other people who have been shot to death. But I don't know, for some reason, I guess this part seems to be a little more shush. Just bear me out. Even if I'm wrong, I feel like everything seems to be a little more difficult to understand the reason to why they wanted to assassinate Trump. Remember that he have actually been in multiple broadcasts for some times now when it came to this election. And in same time he have been in court reported for doing all his crimes and all wrongdoings. And the reason to it is because of his behalf of whatever he have done over the years. People are accusing him for all those things he have actually done over the years. I mean, that man have never sitting in the court. I mean, sure, he have sitting in the court. What I mean is, he have never been in the prison before. And he have always had money to pay out to make sure that he will never be in the prison. Now with this stupid Project 25, he will do anything to just keep his own guard, meaning he will never make sure that no one, no elites or himself being in that fucking prison anymore. But that's not the only thing I'm still worried about. There's many other things. But before I talking about that, let us go back to this assassination tempting blah blah blah.
I'm now going to show you the moment that just happened when the former president was speaking at his rally. Let's watch that video.
If you want to really see something that's said, take a look at what happened.
Alright, you saw this shooting happening and he ducked. Everybody started to dodge as well, but some people were actually hit. Shall we watch the rest of the clip?
Let me get my shoes. I got you, sir. Let me get my shoes, sir. Hold that in your head. It's bloody. So we gotta move to the car.
It's pretty normal that somebody always dropping a shoe, yes, attempting to this assassination, but it's still very sus. Alright, we keep rolling.
Watch out.
And there we have him, pumping the fist in the air. Meanwhile, the assassination did happen, although they have taken out the guy after that. In reality, every president who have tried to be assassinated have always run away from the public place or the rally in this case. But not Trump. He's the first one who stay in the public there. It was earlier discussing about a few people who have tried to warn both Secret Service and the police about the assassination, well, was close to a tent or they saw something very suspicious and wanted to warn everybody. But the funny fact is, it didn't concern any of them until someone was shooting in this case. So what the hell? Okay, roll the video. That, folks, I don't know what to say anymore except that, oh my god, I never thought that somebody have the courage to even do that, even if that was a Republican. But the funny fact is, when it comes to the assassinate, well, the shooter, if we say it, I mean, there have been many conspiracies about who the shooter was. Some people suspected it could be from the left wing, and some people might think that there was somebody who had maybe a grudge against Trump, or somebody who, in this case, who maybe had lived in a painful life, who just wanted to get rid of Trump. I mean, sure, we could suspect that sometimes, even though it's not the truth. But we know that Trump have actually hurt many people. I mean, again, he have taken out so many people in many years. From the time he was an adult up to now, for example. I mean, sure, that guy is a baby boomer who have no idea what he doing in this case. I mean, we're talking about teenage girls who literally dancing around him and maybe being forced to have sex with him and all of this thing and all of this other things, and well, it's a very scary thing, a scary part, if I may say it. It's not something you literally seeing as normal at all. Not at all. Not at all. I mean, take for example pandemic. That's also one of the parts since 2019 when he was silenced about the 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 COVID-19 started to spread in USA. True, we always hear the blame that China did it, and he started to joke and saying China virus. But anything Trump saying is utterly bullshit. Again, true, we don't have any proof. I do remember a time 2018 when he wanted to create some kind of bioweapon, which is not okay at all. We're still talking about that every day, at least in my area, but we had no idea where exactly some people might talk about that, even if we sometimes suspect Trump. But again, this guy is a billionaire who can do anything regardless what. We don't care about hardworking people who literally working every day. That man had a silver spoon and didn't need to work at all. His dad was the one who actually became billionaire. And again, we're talking about the working class who actually working hard every day for every billionaire. Yet the billionaire is the one who actually take the credit for the hard-working class who actually made the job possible. Yet everybody assumed that the CEO is the one who did it, or the billionaire who did it, and so on. So I've been in this history for every year. Sometimes I wish we could just change that part, that everybody will understand it's the working class who do the job, while the billionaire is the one who's sitting with their asses, attempted to meeting and all of this suggestion of blah blah blah. They don't do anything at all. Again, and that's why we have all those education, that you have to always be the best to have some job. And today, every billionaire hire less people and still saying, well, there's not much job or much money and so on. So everybody start to fight each other and complain and blame each other that who have taken the job. It could be about somebody who actually have another background or whatsoever. I don't care. that's not the thing. The thing is that people are actually suffering today because of this low income policy and low rate hiring people from each and any company, because all those billionaires who actually own the company will have less people who actually work for them. And that's the biggest mistake everybody can do, especially if you're a billionaire. Alright, back to the idea why I think it is very suspicious when it comes to Trump. I mean, again, we're talking about assassination. A guy who seems to be cool. I mean, sure, everybody would be afraid if they didn't know exactly, but again, even if I would say, wow, this guy is really cool, he had no fear at all, oh God, somebody was shooting him like that, and suddenly pumped the fist in the air and saying, I'm okay, and people chanting, USA, USA, USA. I have no problem with that. My only problem is, okay, why on earth is Trump in the rally when the shooting still attempts? Shouldn't he be evacuate the area in this case immediately? And why on earth didn't Secret Service taking it serious when people start to talk about that? And again, even the police, I mean, they were pointing at the gunmen who were in the roof, yet no one acting. Not even the police. What the hell? But I have one idea to many things anyway, and as I suspect that Trump may have paid that shooter to do some kind of fake assassination. That's my own suspicion. But it shouldn't be a suspicion at all. But I still think that's it. I may be wrong, but I feel like something is off. If you may remember that he have actually attempted to lot of things. I talk about the crime he did, like rape, sexual assault on minors. When I talking about minors, I talking about teenage girls. I talking about when he was with Jeffrey Epstein's in the 90s, were dancing around with the young people and so on. Okay, there is no wrong with that, except that they were hired. I mean, I get it. Hired, yet very young. I mean, okay. I have no problem with billionaires dancing around with young people, but we're talking about whatever happening outside of the public. That he had attempt to have sex, and when the sex trafficking were actually happening inside the building, not in the dance floor. I'm talking about a closed door and so on. People have been forced to have sex with all billionaires, especially if they are men. And yes, he had his own mind about getting rid of any law and prevent them, every billionaire, to go in prison. And that's my biggest scare, because that's exactly what he wanted to do with the Project 25 if he would be elected. And now when he had been shot, of course, they will dismiss every crime he have done, because that's exactly what it is. So I know that Trump had an idea, or somebody who giving him an idea to actually fake the assassination whatsoever. Okay, It might sound stupid, but the funny fact is now people think sorry about this man who literally have commit a lot of heinous thing. So now everything seems to be more jeopardized when Trump will come in to this White House, taking over the presidencies. I mean, again, the sad thing is the Democrats have stopped to even bother. Even Biden have actually response to this assassination thing whatsoever. I mean, isn't that too sad to even understand that Trump, on the other hand, had already an idea, no one even think about that. Not even the Republican. And as we know, the Republicans are split in many ways. I mean, we have the MAGA Republicans, we have regular Republicans, and a lot of other Republicans in that part of Republican. I don't know how to split them all, but they are split. Not all Republicans agree about that. I mean, sure, many of them may be kissing Trump's asses, but there are some people who have their mind over whatever Trump could be. I mean, again, we're talking about a billionaire who doesn't care about the law, who would get rid of it. And when we're talking about going a conservative mindset, I mean, I have no problem to be a Christian, but I have a problem if you're going to nationalize it like it would be an important thing. It's more like to say, no one will be above anything who ain't Christian at all. But I have no problem with Christianity. But instead for everybody else, I mean, we're talking about the Protestant, the Catholic, who have always been powerful for a while until a new thing came around. And that's the patriot Christianity. I mean, don't get me wrong, but I'm talking about I don't say movement, but more like the type of Christianity. I mean, I have no problem with Christian nationalists, but I have a huge problem for what they actually going to do with the country. Force everybody to become Christian or get to the prison, kind of. And then we have all those women who will suffer if they actually will be forced to stay with their husbands, who literally either they harass them or anything at all. In this case, for those parents who can't cope with each other, it's better that they actually taking I was thinking about break up. It's better that they break up instead to live with each other until someone maybe do something really bad. And as we know, there have been many men, especially from the conservative sides, who have never shown any signs of understanding their wife. Perhaps some percent of them, but a majority of them, especially if we're talking about elites or some politic or whatever, that person maybe have some fucking level. He have no mercy when it comes to his wife. First of all, you shouldn't own your spouse. You should rather share the power with your spouse. That's the thing. But instead it will be this, the man have the power. Why shouldn't you share the power with the women? Is it because that's exactly what the Christianity have said? No, of course not. And again, first of all, Jesus haven't wrote the Bible at all. He was only there to help people. He haven't had any idea to create any Christianity. You all can blame me how much you want, but I know that he is not behind the Christianity at all. True, we could see him as a god, yes, no problem with that. Yet, I still oppose the person who believed that he was the one who created Christianity. But in my case, he was just a symbol of Christianity when he wanted to at least make sure that every people should have equal rights, not someone having the power. You can't favor one gender and dismiss the other one. You can't. And yes, we have a lot of other genders now. Why in the world would we ever have one gender policy who should have the power and the other one not? That's stupid. Okay, back to the idea. Why I still think that Trump actually did it because of one fucking reason. And that's because he wanted to grab the power. So of course Biden going to get out and Trump become a new president in November. It would be goodbye USA, goodbye freedom. Now we're going to kiss all the billionaires' asses.
If you were president, would you declassify, you can answer yes or no to these.
Yeah.
Would you declassify the 9/11 files?
Yeah.
Would you declassify JFK files?
Yeah.
Would you,
I did a lot of it.
Would you declassify the Epstein files?
Yeah, I would.
All right.
I guess I would. I think that less so because, you don't know it. You don't want to affect people's lives if it's phony stuff in there because there's a lot of phony stuff
Yeah.
with that whole world. But I think I would, or at least
Do you think that would restore trust? Help restore trust?
Yeah, I don't know about Epstein so much as I do the others.
And there you have it, folks. I mean, again, we're talking about Trump, who want to declassify everything who actually happening. I mean, we're talking about John F. Kennedy, the first one, who actually were assassinated by the CIA, not by some crazy shooter whatsoever. No, we're talking about CIA. Back in the 60s. I mean, I wasn't born, yes, but at least it happening in the time when my dad was just a toddler, that time. No one knew that thing could even happen. I mean, again, it took time before we knew that who were the one who actually wanted to assassinate John F. Kennedy. As we know, every president have to shut up while the senators is the one who actually making a decision. Then it's up to the president to either agree or disagree. The suggestion always stand up for the senators in reality. I mean, even though the president would actually have a suggestion, he can't make a decision what should be done and not done. But compared to Trump, who will be the one who actually make a decision and make it official, it is actually different from whatever any president have done. I mean, you remember maybe Ronald Reagan, but in his case, he was just asking for suggestions. He had sometimes ideas. People either agree or disagree. That was depending on which senators you have to discuss, even if some Congress would actually accept everything he was saying or not. But Trump will be the first one who will make a demand and nothing else and more. I mean, again, why do you think that we say the latest one? When Biden was supposed to get rid of few things like the increase of interest rate in loans and medicines and anything else in the bills and so on, the Congress said no, because many of the senators have pleaded to no. Again, that's very sus when it comes to senators in this case, regardless if they are Democrats or Republicans. But that's not my suspicion yet, because we're still talking about Project 25. That will jeopardize every woman who actually will suffer in the end. But that's not only women. In this case, we're going to manipulate every child to think how a man should act and how a woman should act and so on. When we are in that fucking, how should I say, a time that every woman have to submit again. But again, we're talking about all this manipulation happening, what favors all those in power. We're not talking about something who actually is a knowledge. We're talking about something who actually are on conspiracy. Again, sometimes there should be a logic understanding before all those idiots who literally destroying the knowledge, the true knowledge in this case. And now they just make it like gibberish for nothing. I say this, if any woman become pregnant and want to get rid of the child because she maybe have a, ill or some disease or whatever, none of them will be able to even take any abortion pill without the Congress allowing it. Because they will dismiss whatever any woman actually suffering from. Even when it comes to miscarriage or other kind of problems, we will still ignore it because, as we know, a fetus is alive in every Republican's mind. But in this case, they don't care, because each and any of them just want to rule the world without to have any attention to it. You know, the only thing they're kissing now, I mean, Republicans should actually think about the gunman, for example. No one did it. No one did even think about the gunman in this case. Why not get rid of the weapon, as everybody has speak about in over 30 years, or better 50 years? No one cared. I mean, Generation X, who were the first one to talk about get rid of the weapons. Then we millenniums, and then the Gen Zs. Who knows if the Gen Alpha will do that? Because we are doomed because of this stupid Project 25, who will be a huge problem for the world, especially when it comes to those who have joined NATO. We will have a bigger problem. Every country will have a problem. And there is much to dig in when it comes to this idea about Project 25. I think that Trump is a wrong president to even deal with for first of all. I don't care. The only thing I care about is get rid of Trump and never allow him to run. But it's too late. That's exactly the suggestion Trump got. Now we all are in danger because of one man who can do whatever he wants. The demigod who will be immune against every crime he does. That means he will continue doing it no matter what. I don't say that I will actually kill him or whatsoever, or having him dead. No, that won't solve anything. It would be better if Trump were in the prison to think over what he have done. That's the thing what I would actually keep suggesting. But the sad reality when it comes to us all, I mean, even if we all maybe attempt somewhere, we maybe think that Trump maybe will do anything to stop the problem. No, it will always be in his interest and him alone. unless other billionaires maybe have the same idea. I mean, as we're talking about, he's facing a lot of felonies. I mean, again, thanks to that, was it Epstein? Yes, Epstein, Mr. Epstein. Because of him, every billionaire who have been there, who have been pointed, of course. So each and anyone came up with the idea, at least my suspicion, that they wanted to get rid of every law who pointing at the billionaires. That means each and any of them can keep playing with every life they have done in several years. CIA won't even budge because they are controlled by the senators, of course. As much CIA can do whatever they want, they don't care about any life at all. They could kill, they going anywhere and anything's just fine. It's more like to have a shoe, you can blow a country up to bits and suddenly nothing happens. We are USA, we do whatever we want. God have appointed us to be number one. Again, why on earth should we actually believe that part should actually happening? It should be otherwise than any of those powerful dumbasses to billionaires. Now we all are dead because of this man and all those other billionaires who will hurt us in many years before anyone will realize the truth. There will be no responsibility, sexism will still arise, and all of this kind of thing, we all will actually suffer. Again, why on earth are we going to be hurt? And most of it, when it comes to the genders, it will be also a trouble. Again, why on earth should we go back to the time that everything really happened when misogynists and all of those other sexism did really exist? No, we shouldn't have it again. We should have gender equality, not gender inequality or inequality. No, I am afraid for that. Even when it comes to the trans women who actually will suffer harder because the Republicans refuse to have them or understand them. Sometimes I wonder if there's someone in the Congress who will actually understand that there is some of them who have their children who actually had trans. Are they not going to care about their bloodline as well? I mean, care about their children in this case. I don't care if they have any bloodline, but I care about their children at least who actually suffer because of the law, who will dismiss them or hurting them in the end. They couldn't care less. But that's just the beginning. Anyway, that's all I have to say now, but I will speak more about this shooter. Anyway, I will thank you all for taking your time and have a nice day. Bye. Goddamn Trump.